Good afternoon, I am Sylvia the Crafty Old Lady, and today I'm going to do a kind of a unusual post for me, and it is, my layout is called Tip-In. So what I want to do is make a nice little background, which will also be reinforcing this page, and I'm going to put this as my centerpiece, or focal point. This was my Uncle George. This was my father. They were 15 years apart. And I'm assuming these are the cousins. They're cousins because my parents were always taking pictures of us and the cousins. And I'm always taking pictures of all my grandkids, the cousins, the new generation of cousins together. So that's just what this seemed like to me. I think this was my father's cousin Leona, and I don't know who any of these other little ones were, but my dad looks like he's about 2, so I'm assuming this was 1929. So next thing I'm going to do is put my little background down here, and I'm going to carefully, because this paper is showing itself to be very fragile. And I guess I'll put some on here too. Yeah, I hope everybody's doing well. How are you keeping up with the prompts and the ideas for this way? Getting good ideas to do, fulfill the prompts for Junk Journal July. And as you see, this Junk Journal July is almost over. But I'm filming this on July 5th, actually. So I was going to put this here, and then this is going to go here, and this is going up in this side. So I think I'm going to put this down next. I think I might want to put a little bit of a background on the photo. Let's get this in here. Hopefully that won't be purple when it's all dry. I'm going to cut some of this off. There we go. And there's going to be a little bit of a twist with my tip-in. That's very cute, and that's what gave me the idea, actually. Okay. Now this piece. Okay, we'll put the glue all over this one. Yeah, I was talking yesterday about how I was looking through all this old ephemera and pictures and stuff, and how it made me cry. That these people were my family. And I mean, I remember my Uncle George, and my father's cousin, Leona. But the truth of the matter is, shortly after this picture was taken, my Uncle George was in a car accident with his fiance, and his fiance passed away, and he had a nervous breakdown and ended up living in a state hospital for the mentally insane for my whole life. And also my father's mother did too. My whole life, my uncle and grandmother were living in the Indiana State Mental Hospital. So my father did not have a very happy childhood. He barely knew his mother or his brother. And he lived with his father most of his life. So, and my mother didn't have a very happy childhood either. She was born in 1935, and her parents let they're dying. I think it was my grandmother's brother. He was dying of TB, and they let him say goodbye to my baby mother, and she got tuberculosis. And because her parents were poor and lived out in the middle of nowhere, to get proper medical care, they had to give her up to a foster home. So my mother always resented that, and really, who can blame her? And so she did not like her family very well, and so she had an unhappy childhood too. Her stepfather was abusive, but not to her for some reason. So at least she escaped the abuse. But the other children and his wife did not escape the abuse. So both my parents had very sad, dysfunctional childhoods. And for now, I want to get some kind of little background to put this on. Maybe some fabric, some vintagey fabric. And I want to also make sure I remember who these people are. So I'm going to write that maybe on the back of my tip-in. But for now, let's see if I can find some fabric. And I might get some colorful fabric, not neutral. So I got this and this. And I have to say, I think this will look better. So we're going to cut off a piece of this to go behind our photo, and try to get a piece that doesn't have a wrinkle on it, because I don't feel like ironing. I think this would be good. Just cut the wrinkles off. Oh, I should get my fabric scissors out, actually. Hopefully this will work. Right here, this part is not wrinkly. Okay. Alright, I think we can put the tip in right there, and this should be good. Alright, probably should use Fabri-Tac for this. Yes, it says Rufus and Ivan's children. Alright, so they were the cousins. And I was right, it's 1929. Oh, I didn't even look at that before, because it was glued down. Wow. Okay, so that's not Leona. That's somebody else. But this is my Uncle George and my dad. Look how cute he was. Oh my gosh. He acts like my kids did. And my grandkids. Typical 2-year-old, even in 1929. Okay, I'm going to write that down before I forget, because it's going to be covered up in a second. Okay. So that's going there. And ta-da! This is a family portrait my daughter Bethany did, and I'm going to tip it in. Oh, I could tip it in. Actually, let's move this more in the middle. I could tip it in from the top. I was thinking it would be too wide, but I can cut this down. Almost every time she has a portrait for me. One of them was pretty big, and I put that up on my bedroom wall. And then the others I usually put in my journals. So let's cut this down. And we'll tip that in with maybe some washi tape. But actually, I think I will get my brown pen and write this down here. I think that would look good. Not on the back of my tip-in. So, let's just do that right here. Rufus. And Ivan's children. So he had a lot of kids, 5. I think one of them was named Betty, if I remember correctly. Betty and Lois Ann. I kind of remember those names. I wonder if any of them are alive. Okay, so we've got that. Okay, and now my tip-in. So I am going to cut the bottom off slightly here. Just a little bit. And let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's good. And then we're going to, which way do I want this to fold? Like this. I think so. So I'm going to put some glue along here, and then we'll reinforce it with some washi tape. And that is my tip-in. Okay, we could do that. Oops. I need to let that dry a few minutes, I guess. Maybe I should move it over this way a little bit so it doesn't get hung up in the corner. Okay. Yes. This is me. See my glasses? And I think that one's Bethany. There's Dobby. And I think the rest of these are some of her brothers and sisters. So, it's cute. It's a very hard thing to have to prepare your daughter for a life without you and knowing that she's basically helpless. Not helpless, but she can't ever live alone. She actually can't even be alone for more than 1 minute, honestly. So, it's scary, but it's a fact of life that I can't escape. I'm not going to be here forever. She needs a safe place to live, as safe as possible. And so I want to not have that wait until I'm dead and it be a very traumatic experience for her. Okay. Let's see what we got in the way of some pretty washi tape. Not too thick. This one's pretty. Let's see if that would work. It might be too thick, but we're going to try it anyway. Why not? Okay, so we're going to actually go above it a little bit. I don't think this one is super sticky. I think I'm going to reinforce its stickiness. Okay, yeah, it definitely needs some stickiness. Reinforced. We gotta reinforce our reinforcement. So what's going on? Okay. There. It's pretty. And of course now I have all that glue there. And on this side, I'm just going to, actually, let's do it from here. I'm going to just put like Scotch tape there. Okay. There. That's not bad at all. And I'm just going to write Bethany on the bottom. Bethany's Family by Bethany. Now she did this at some point in the beginning of the week, but she gave it to me yesterday, so I'm just going to put yesterday's date on there. There. Alright, that's it for my tip-in. My ancestors' family and Bethany's portrait of our family. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're having a happy day and a safe day and a healthy day. And we'll see you again. Oh, I forgot to put the number, but you don't have to watch me do that. That was number 23. Tomorrow is number 25, Tea-Dyed. Tea-dyed really isn't that difficult, but it's what to do with it. It's easy to tea-dye something, but it's what to do with your tea-dyed creation that's the difficult part. Alright guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.